Hi everyone, it's me, Jen, and I'm nothing if not intense. It's Sunday, February 24th, 2019. Welcome to the Danley Deep Dive, Part 7. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Where are you if? Don't be scared. This quiz should be a breeze. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and at the end, I would like you to answer either silently, out loud, and or in the comments. Caveat: keep in mind while taking the quiz that you have not reported that any of your ID has been stolen, you are not a victim of identity theft, and you have not reported that anyone has been impersonating you in recent days. Are we ready? Where are you if your name was added as a guest to a hotel room at the Mandalay Bay? Where are you if your name was added as a guest to a newly registered room adjoining the one that you were previously added to at the Mandalay Bay? Where are you if your credit/debit card is used to pay for room service at Mandalay Bay? Where are you if your casino player's card is used on the casino floor at Mandalay Bay on the same night that your significant other's player's card is used also? Where are you if your credit/debit card is used to pay for valet parking at Mandalay Bay? Where are you if your casino player's card is found in one of the rooms that you are a registered guest in at Mandalay Bay? Where are you if your blank checks are found in the same room with your casino player's card at Mandalay Bay? Where are you if the vehicle that you drive and are known to drive is seen on CCTV by hotel security on Luxor property near the Mandalay Bay? Where are you? My answer is the Mandalay Bay. Did you pass the test? I apologize. I'm sure that seemed a little redundant and silly. However, that's how glaringly obvious it is that Mary Lou Danley was at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas on October 1st and in the days leading up to the 1st. That was not including what I believe to be her pulling up to the valet on 9/28, hotel employee sightings of her, and what I believe to be her on CCTV on the casino floor in the early morning hours of October 1st. It did not even factor in the sheriff of Clark County issuing a bolo and announcing her as a person of interest at 1:30 a.m. on October 2nd, stating that she was traveling with the shooter. Proof, proof, proof. If I had $1 for every time I see someone comment, "I need proof," before I can believe that, I need proof, I could literally take my PayPal link off all my videos and still be sitting like a boss. The reality of the situation is that more often than not, that direct evidence or that solid proof you seem to so desperately need does not exist. That's by design. Most criminals and or entities involved in a crime or a cover-up do not leave direct evidence of their crime and or cover-up. It would be super easy to solve every crime, figure out exactly what happened, know who was involved, and how it all went down if there were direct evidence left at the crime scene, right? Seems counterproductive if you are a criminal who doesn't want to get caught. I have been reminded. Lately I have been thinking about a murder that took place near my hometown on April 26, 2010. For starters, April 26th happens to be my birthday. The murder happened in the next town over, 10 minutes from where I was living at the time. The person who was murdered had recently took her children and left her husband. At that same time, I was about a year out of leaving my ex-husband and was still dealing with the divorce, custody issues, and everything else that goes along with leaving a narcissistic, immature, pathological liar. So when this happened, it affected me on a number of different levels. It was not known on that first day, obviously April 26th, that she had been murdered, only that this young mother of two was missing. However, the circumstances did not look good, and given the history with her estranged husband, it was cause for huge concern. An intense investigation was launched, and search parties were organized. I was among the hundreds of people who searched the wooded areas around her husband's childhood home, but to no avail. Long story short, they eventually arrested her husband, even though they didn't have her body, and went to trial, with mostly circumstantial evidence. He was convicted of premeditated first-degree murder. He is currently serving his life sentence in a Michigan prison, exactly where he belongs. I can only imagine, if one person on that jury could not find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, because they did not have her body, that he could potentially be walking free at this very moment. What a travesty to justice that would have been. With his guilty verdict, so many people wondered, why doesn't he tell us where the body is? I always felt that in some sick way her body was his ace in the hole, that at some point when he wanted something, he would use that as leverage, because that's what these people do. In October of last year, he finally admitted to the murder and led investigators to the woods where he had buried her body 8 years earlier. At the site, as he was sitting in the LA van, he told a reporter that he has remorse, regret, and blah, blah, blah. No, he made a deal. Give up the body and get something he wanted in return. Plain and simple. It's always about them. An Xbox. Yes, you heard me. An Xbox. That's what he got. He also asked for supervised release at a future time to attend his parents' funerals. That was denied. Thank goodness those 12 jurors could use their critical thinking, analyze the circumstantial evidence, and make the inference to the known facts. Conclude that he was the only one that could have committed the murder, and more importantly, that she was in fact dead, without having the direct evidence to prove that. At the time they went to trial, her remains had not been recovered. I am ashamed to admit that I was unaware of the developments of last October, him finally confessing and leading them to the body, until today as I was prepping for this video. I am fully entrenched in Las Vegas, and apparently unaware of matters happening close to home. Direct evidence versus circumstantial evidence. Direct evidence is based on a witness's personal knowledge or observation of a fact. Circumstantial evidence is a collection of facts that, when considered together, can be used to infer a conclusion about something unknown. Circumstantial evidence is used to support a theory of a sequence of events. The sum total of multiple pieces of corroborating evidence, each piece being circumstantial alone, build an argument to support how a particular event happened. Most people have the misconception that circumstantial evidence is untrustworthy or has something wrong with it. But in reality, circumstantial evidence is often far more reliable than eyewitness testimony. One small timeline of events, but telling nonetheless. When we look at this timeline, or when I look at this timeline, just this one small, short period of time tells me so much. At approximately 3:02 a.m., they are detaining Mary Lou Danley at the Chevron station on the corner of Dean Martin and Trop. At virtually the same time, Sergeant Jerry McDonald, a fit detective, applies for search warrants for the rooms at Mandalay Bay and the van. At 3:17 a.m., the bolo, be on the lookout, is canceled on Mary Lou, but the Hyundai Tucson is still outstanding. so they want officers to continue to look for that. At 3:28 a.m. on the scanner, an officer comes over the scanner and says, FYI, there's going to be a silver van full of FBI personnel coming down the strip. They're heading west on Trop to Koval, heading towards Koval, or something like that. That's the van. That's Paddock's van. Because when they detained Mary Lou, she wasn't driving the Tucson, she was driving the van. How are they going to get that van back to Mandalay Bay? Oh, we're just going to say that there's FBI people in there and call it good. We've got everybody on lockdown, so nobody should see it. And they probably got away with it just fine, getting it back to the Mandalay Bay. At 3:30 a.m., the helicopter base that was set up at the Harley-Davidson shop across from South Central is okie dokie to be shut down now. And the guys that were kind of in charge of that, okay, go ahead, shut it down. Then they were dispatched to Mandalay Bay, to the West Valet, to the suspect's vehicle. So, are all those things coincidences? I don't think so. It lines up perfectly for me. So, was the LVMPD slow playing the warrants? Why did Sergeant McDonald of the FIT team wait until after 3 a.m. to apply for search warrants for the rooms and the van? He had been on the scene since 10:16 p.m., the quote-unquote lone shooter was down by 11:20, the adjoining room was cleared shortly thereafter, and the scene was pretty much static by midnight. Why wait an additional 3 hours in what was purported to be the biggest mass shooting in modern American history? Why wait 3 more hours to obtain search warrants for the rooms and his vehicle? What I see when I look at that timeline is, pardon me, they were waiting until they had control of Mary Lou Danley. I would surmise that Sergeant McDonald was informed that they were closing in on her, and that's when he made the call to Judge Elf for the telephonic search warrants. It was a 2-for-1. Once they had Mary Lou, they had the van also. In closing, I hope that everyone will give some thought to what is realistically out there for us to discover. I left out 2. I can easily say that the discovery of direct evidence of anything will be very difficult to come by, if any exists at all. So you can give that some thought, or you can continue to be unwilling to accept anything but proof by direct evidence and flounder without ever being able to draw any conclusions on any aspect of this event for as long as you continue to research and investigate. Not only does this apply to the event, but also to the sideshow that has developed within the community. Reason, logic, 2 + 2 = 4, the duck thing, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck. I'm sure I screwed that up. But anyway, so that's why I said that old duck saying, because I knew I'd screw it up. Sorry, not sorry. I caution you, please do not simply regurgitate the narrative, especially when it concerns Mary Lou Danley and the van, because I have put countless hours into my research, so please give me some credit for that. So do not regurgitate room 32, 134 was in Mary Lou's name. Paddock was the last person to drive the van. Mary Lou was out of the country at the time of the shooting. Paddock sent poor little Mary Lou away and then sent her $150,000. Those statements simply have not been proven to be true, and I think I have proven otherwise. I have proven them to be total fabrications. Bottom line, I'm confident in my work. Okay, so wow, didn't mean to go all Debbie Downer on you. Bomb cyclone? Say what? I am currently bracing for the next weather phenomenon, a so-called bomb cyclone. Really? What the hell is that? Wait a minute. I know. It's high winds. Is it just me, or do we now have someone who sits around all day and thinks up new dramatic names for the weather? Polar vortex. When I was growing up, it was a nor'easter or shit. Is the wind coming from Canada? That shit's gonna be cold. Bomb cyclone. High winds. Last summer, I believe, we had a derecho. A straight line windstorm? So, whatevs, weather, how about just sending me some good juju intermixed in all that wind? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all very much from the bottom of my heart. If you appreciate my work, you can throw some love my way via my PayPal. The link is in the description. I have so much more to come. Vegas isn't over. Far from it. Until the next one.